who's going to be that, that sixth man, or even hopefully for the Lakers, that third man that's going to step up to win, to help them win in this must needed, first home game. So stay tuned. Stick with DFS Insights. We'll give you our key player breakdown. Welcome to DFS Insights, where the game behind the game comes to life. I am David Geislinger, and alongside me is David Grant Jr., my cousin and co-strategist. The teams up on the block are the Denver Nuggets at the Los Angeles Lakers.
With your lineup success as our top priority, this is where David and I will dive deep into our top three players that we like for this matchup. We're going to break down the strategy behind our picks and share our insights to enhance each and every single one of your lineups. So make sure not to miss out on the finale, because we're actually going to reveal / give away two absolutely free lineups.
Yeah, here we go. It's game 3 time. Denver is up on the series 2-0. They pulled out the home wins here. They're coming into LA for game 3. Murray with obviously the LA heartbreaker there, game winning shot at the end to seal that game. But who's going to be that that sixth man, or even hopefully for the Lakers, that third man that's going to step up to win, to help them win in this must needed first home game. So stay tuned. Stick with DFS Insights. We'll give you our key player breakdown and keep things moving along here. So going into game 3 here, but before we start breaking that down, just do a little quick rehash on game 2, as obviously we can get some information there. So looking here at the previous matchup, Denver obviously, like we said, 101-99. Top 3 fantasy scores here: LeBron James, Davis, and Russell. Russell did semi-step up to kind of potentially help them win, but Lakers need a team. Where Lakers are accusing Denver sixth man of being the referees. Who's going to be that sixth man and actually step up for the Lakers, because so far it's non-existent. Nikola Jokic, obviously number 1, Porter, and then Murray, top 3 for Denver. Looking back at it, the optimal lineup for that matchup is now on the screen. Jokic at MVP, James at the star position, Michael Porter, Aaron Gordon, and then Justin Holiday snuck his way in here. So if you think about it, it's basically kind of the same lineup as game 1. It's just instead of DeAndre Jordan, is Justin Holiday. So, keep that in mind. That is a, very rare that that's going to happen, but this was unique. The guy did end up winning, solo 10K, so good for him. I'm going to go ahead and show now, what we predict, as the possible ownerships for the slate. This is based on the first 2 games ownerships here. So, keep this in mind. This is just, estimating what, I think the ownerships might be for this coming matchup. That can kind of help you create a, more optimal, more unique lineup. So this is based, like I said, on the averages of the ownerships from the first 2 games. So obviously that will, they're going to slightly be different as things go on. So going now to this game here. Oh geez, good old Fanduel's coming in with their their predictions on who's going to win. Lakers favored in this matchup after going down 2-0 in the series. They're 1-point favorites coming into home. Maybe obviously it's a must win for them. They're at home, so I can kind of see giving them a few, but from Denver being +7 to +7.5 to now Lakers favored 1, just simply because shifting home court, But I've said it before about Lakers doing this, against Minnesota and OKC, and they've won. So Offensive rating, these are based on the two playoff games here. Basically inverse of each other. Lakers offensive rating is only at 107.4, defensive 115, where Denver's offensive 115 and their defense is 107. Their pace actually slowed down from last game, which I thought was actually still pretty slow at the 94 mark. Now it's even a little bit less, 93.75. So I think that is another reason Lakers are having a hard time. Their pace is typically over 100. I thought, you know, them having above 100, Denver's typically a little bit lower, 96 or so, that, they're kind of even out up there towards, 98, 99. But it seems Denver's slowing down the game quite a bit, and it's actually, I think, overall affecting how the Lakers play there. And then if it's, it's DFS Insights and it's the Lakers, you know what we got? We got injuries. Anthony Davis, game time decision, weird. LeBron James, game time decision, weird. Both obviously probable if they're going to play. Why their game time decisions now? I mean, hey.
It's insane. Okay, game time decision. You play 44 minutes for AD in game 1, and then 39 minutes in game 2, and then Mr. LeBron James also 40 minutes and then 38 minutes, and you're trying to tell me you're a game time decision? Come on, let's just come on.
Yeah, so it is what it is. Maybe Fanduel is just so used to it they don't even change it anymore. It's just like a blanket template here for the Lakers. But anyways, you have anything to add about the overall just general breakdown here before we get into our key players?
Just that just to reiterate, it is a must win for them. It's this is where I'm going to see. Some of the more role players for the Lakers should feel more comfortable playing at home. So hopefully, as you mentioned, an Austin Reeves, a D'Lo, Hashimura, someone's got to step up because LeBron can only do so much. So, yeah, that'd be about it. Let's dive into the game here and some of our picks.
All right, here we go. Starting it off here. Who you got? Your first key player here.
All right, yeah. So my first pick here up on the block is going to be Mr. Jamal Murray. Didn't really come as any surprise. He's been balling. I know game 1, he did game 1, or I'm sorry, game 2, even though he did hit that game winner, he had 35 fantasy points. That is the lowest he's had, over the last 5 games that he has played against them. Basically, if you take the last 2 regular season games and then the 2 playoff games, he's actually averaging 46.9 fantasy points a game. His minutes are at 37.5 minutes a game on average. And I got him, he's 13.5K. They've now made it extremely hard. A lot of people keep trying to squeeze in Anthony Davis and Jokic, or Jokic and LeBron, and then fill some stuff out. Salaries have now reached a point where I just don't see that being optimal. Jamal Murray at this 13.5 with what his upside is. He has an upside, honestly, in the 70s. He can do that. He's had some low 60s games and high 50 fantasy point games against the Lakers. So as far as my exposure to him, I'll be having exposure in the MVP, the star, and the pro. Definitely not in the utility. Mainly at the star, but I will be mixing it up. As far as exposure, I put on here, I hate to use the word lock because usually that dooms people. But lock him in, man. Lock this dude into your lineups. Out of any player from either team, between the regular season and these 2 playoff games, he's the most consistent as far as minutes and how many fantasy points he's getting. He's my favorite play on the slate. To me, the key to being in the optimal lineup is really keep doing you, man. He does it all. The Lakers are the worst at, not the worst. They're in the bottom at guarding the 3-point shot. If he can get a little bit hotter, as you noticed in the last two games, it was a little cold start, but then he did get things moving. So for him to really get one of those higher fantasy scores, if he can get hot a little early, you know, he could be in for a big night. Um, so I see a lot of them trying to stop Jokic, which is going to open up, uh, a lot of shots for Jamal, and he can do it all. He can hit the three, hit the pull-up jumper, create his own shot, take it to the hoop. He does it all. So, he's my favorite play of the slate. What are your thoughts? And then who do you got here for your first pick?
Yeah, no, I agree. As you know, my first play here is also Jamal Murray. I do like him actually at all the spots: MVP, star, and pro. 13.5K salary. Obviously that's going to be based on lineup construction of where I'm going to be putting him. But he's these stats are really just based on the playoffs. He's averaging 39 minutes in the playoff. His usage is 29. He's averaging 36, but he's projected about 41 this matchup. And I like to use him, be putting him up in the MVP just because I know he has that potential to do it. He is only about 4.5%, ownership up there in MVP. So if he does catch that, you go from competing against 7,700 people to basically 300 or what,
Right.
almost 300 people or so. So yeah, the potential for him to be MVP and for you to have a good lineup if he does catch that is too kind of good to pass up. Keep in mind, I will still have Jokic, AD, LeBron,
Oh
in a few
yeah,
lineups too. So
100%.
yeah, so no, I definitely like Jamal Murray here as one of my key players as well. But
Okay, nice.
moving on here to my second player, I'm gonna go with the king, quote unquote, himself, LeBron James. I like him, MVP, star, pro. Pro not so much, but just to shake things up there, potentially have him down there. But MVP and star for sure. He's averaging 39.4 minutes, as you mentioned, game time decision. His usage has been pretty crazy in the playoffs, 28.6. He's averaging 54 points, and he's projected about 58, 57.6 in this matchup. And to be honest, I think he needs to. And unless one of these players, outside of AD and LeBron step up, like he might need 70 if the Lakers are going to have a chance to win.
Yeah.
Obviously, everybody's pointing out he should have made that wide open 3-pointer to seal the game, but you don't make all the game winning shots every time. But so that could obviously been different chain of events with Lakers being 1-1 going into home, but now they're down 2. This is a must win. If they go down 3, you're looking more likely that the Lakers are about to get swept, and that would be pretty, I think, pretty sore spot for Mr. LeBron James if he gets swept by Denver again, back to back. So
It'd be a tarnish for sure on his legacy. He's really playing for legacy right now, and
yeah.
that would be.
So what do you think about my second pick,
Yeah.
and then who do you got here for your second pick?
Yeah, LeBron James out of the big, I'll just call it the big three, who's the most expensive. We got Jokic at 17, Anthony Davis at 16, and then LeBron at 15.5. LeBron's actually my favorite play out of those three. He's my 1B favorite play on the slate. I said Jamal Murray, but if it wasn't Jamal Murray, it would be LeBron James. He's been under owned in each game one and game two, and besides even from an ownership standpoint, he's the dude who's going to put the team on his back in the fourth quarter and get buckets. It's it's going to come down to him. So I trust him. I'm not going to say I trust him over Jokic and Davis, but it's like we know the ball is going to be in his hands, and if they are going to win, it. Besides them needing a third guy to step up, it's going to be because LeBron also has another amazing game like he did last game. So
Yeah.
yeah, love the pick for sure. So great pick. My next pick. So I won't go in order. This would be my third pick. I'm just going to do that since you had a Laker. So the Laker that I have, I'm gonna go with D'Angelo Russell. This is my least favorite play out of my three plays. He is at 11K. I have him. I'll be playing him at the Star and the Pro. I just don't have the faith that he could be MVP. Even going back and looking at his regular season, he really didn't do well against the Nuggets. And over here, at least as far as the last in the playoff games, he's averaging 39 minutes, so at least the minutes are there. My exposure, I'll be equal to the field, I'll be equal to the field. He's only averaging 28.5 fantasy points right now, but I think because he's going to be in front of his home crowd, he's going to feel it's just he's not a role player. He's supposed to be the third star, but even when you get someone like that, those are the people that play better at home. Him, Austin Reeves, and like I said, like a Hashimura. These are dudes who's all should have better games than what they had in Denver, and we know what D'Angelo's upside is. Um, and so I put on here, his key to being optimal in the optimal lineup, get hot early. I think they really need to get him involved early, and he needs to see the ball go in the basket to have that confidence. The second, if he can get that going, he can definitely have a, a slate breaking type game. Like I said, key to being in the optimal lineup because I mean the minutes are there, the field goal attempts are there. Um, last game he made 7 3-pointers. So I mean, uh, it was just that it came on a little too late. So picking another Laker that's going to step up, and again his salary did come down at least a little bit. Um, it's going to be him or Reeves. So to me, D'Lo is going to have the chance first. So you know, gotta they gotta win this game, and if they are, LeBron, AD, and the third guy's been D'Lo all season. He's got to have a game. Those are my thoughts. So, what do you think about D'Lo and you got here for your final pick?
Yeah, I like D'Angelo Russell. I like him more if LeBron was actually a game time decision and didn't play, because he typically, if you look back through the season, he does have those above 35 fantasy point games when LeBron's not playing.
Not,
So he did get he did catch fire from three last game, and that did help them stay within the range. Because I think he was at like 38 fantasy points. The next person below him was Reeves at 17 fantasy points. So the difference there. But I was watching the game. All the announcers and saying that he's silencing critics, but he's actually been, I think, pretty consistent all season. He's
yeah.
I think he's done pretty decent comparatively to what he did, the previous season. So maybe I'm missing something there, but no, I like him. 11K is a little bit more tolerable. The last two games he was at 12. I don't know if I think because you're about to go here to. I mean, after you do your third pick, see my third pick, who I think is going to be that third player. But obviously, I think Russell will be up there. Will he shoot another 7 threes? I don't think so, but he could. So
Yeah, and I mean, at least we know the minutes are there, and the game log trolls are going to see, okay, he only got 31 fantasy points and 26 fantasy points, and even kind of going down, The last time he had a 40 plus fantasy point game was April 7th against Minnesota. So I mean, it's been a minute since he, you know, really went off. And so yeah, I'll just kind of, he's due, and they need a win. So right on.
Who's your third pick moving on here?
So this is another. I absolutely love this player. I actually wanted the Kings to draft him in the draft back then. He was kind of that dangerous pick because he had an injury and some other stuff. But I'm going with Michael Porter Jr. From the Denver Nuggets. I'll be playing him at the Star and the Pro. He's coming in at 11.5. So the last two regular season games plus these two playoff games, he's averaging 37.5 minutes. My exposure to him will be way over the field. He's been kind of like a Jamal Murray, extremely consistent against this team. His first game, he went like 0 for 9 for his three-pointers, or like 1 for 9, and still came out with 37 fantasy points and 19 real-life points. He had a bounce back game in a different way and had 40 fantasy points last game. So, at 11.5, the 40 plus fantasy points, plus we know he has upside beyond that. Yeah, I just see him. I'll be rostering him a lot. Him and Aaron Gordon have both been together in the optimal lineup in the last two games. I wouldn't be surprised to see that again. My key to Michael Porter Jr. being in the optimal lineup is to get hot from the three. I went and checked his 3-point attempts, and he's attempting between, typically 5 to 11 3-pointers a game, especially against the Lakers. And again, they are very poor at defending the three. So if he sees it goes in early, man, the Lakers are going to be in for a long night. And again, I think they're going to be trying to shut down Jokic and whatnot. And at 11.5, this is another guy with just that upside. And to me, his floor is also really good. So, yeah. Definitely, like I said, I'm going to be way over the field with him. What are your thoughts on him before we get to your last player?
Yeah, no, I like him. I think he's going to be super heavily owned, especially like he's coming in roughly about 21% in the Pro, which is where he was at in both Game 1 and Game 2 in the optimal lineup there. So I think at the 11.5 he's in. Just based on what he's done, I think people are gonna catch on and probably do play that Porter Gordon combo. Like you said, it's probably be beneficial if you do put Porter in the Pro and Gordon in your utility. Do the exact same lineup and just swap them. Put Gordon in the Pro, Porter in the utility, because it's going to be probably one of them that is going to have a decent night. So typically 100%. One of those two will be that third player on the Denver, Jokic, Murray, and then probably one of them. But yeah, no, I like the play. Yeah, he's doing fairly well for what everybody's kind of now focused on him for with the brothers incidents and stuff like that. But no, so yeah, I'm gonna probably be putting him there. I'm probably gonna have a little bit less just to maybe hope that he has a bad game because he's got to be super chalky, and then that way if I went Gordon more, the potential for the ownership play there. But that's other than that, he'll still be in quite a few of my lineups. But
right on.
It'll just be more of an ownership play than anything.
Yeah, for the record, I'm doing approximately 20 lineups just so everybody knows. That way you can get a consensus of how. Because I like to judge, some people max enter. If you're doing 150 lineups, you're going to have a different strategy than someone putting in 20 lineups, someone putting in 5 lineups. So for everyone out there, I'm doing 20 to 25 lineups. So like I said, Mike, I'll be over the field exposure with him. I'll be making my changes elsewhere.
Going back to what you mentioned, think D'Angelo's going to step up. So my third key player here would be, I'm thinking, hopefully the guy that steps up for the Lakers, because what happened to him just from the last game of the season to playoff performance. He's averaging 34.4 minutes. His usage is down to 9.7. He's averaging 10.1. He's projected about 18, 17.6. But, if you go back and game log troll Hashimura, that's not him. He's been, in that mid 20s, low 30s fantasy production. Usage has been up there, high teens, low 20s. He's typically, been a semi-reliable third, fourth player for the Lakers. So it's just probably, I think, a bad matchup that he has, but I think he needs to step up if they need to get going. Reeves seems to not be, finding that shot. D'Angelo had a decent games, but I think Hashimura, and I like him especially at that 9.5 salary, because he does have that potential to get, those mid 20s, low 30 numbers. So people, are going to see, look at how he's doing in the playoffs. He's, averaging 10 fantasy points, but I think he can, if he, refocuses, realize that he's playing playoff basketball now. But yeah, so he needs to get back into the game. The minutes are there, the salary's low. He does typically get the usage. He just needs to get going. So whatever he needs to do, he needs to do it, because Lakers need him. That's basically what it is. So
for sure. So I'm impartial on that play, if I'm being completely honest. If it came down because you only have 9,500 left, I would get it. But if you do have the extra 500, I would lean towards Austin Reeves if you have the money, strictly because at least during the regular season, he actually he outperformed what his projection was in 3 of the 4 regular season games. For whatever that's worth. I know the playoffs are a little different. I guess a question I would, ask you would be, do you see the Lakers making any type of needed change? Because this is the pivotal game, but it's like they literally lost one at the buzzer, so they were winning most of that game and were in control, and literally lost to a buzzer beater. It would have gone to overtime if he missed, and who knows what happens, but they still lost. And even game 1 was competitive. They were in it and had a chance, and then they blew it in the fourth quarter. So it's like, do you see the Lakers tinkering where there might be another player that both of us are missing? That
so that's what obviously that's the key question. If I knew that, then
yeah, I know, right? Yeah,
this would be a completely different scenario. It'd be like, this is the winning lineup, not this is what I think the winning lineup is. But it'd be kind of dumb to say that they don't need to change anything, right? Because yes, I know they were close matchups, they were this and that, but they still did lose. So they do need to find a way to get over, coming down to that buzzer beater, or blaming the refs for no calls. If you look at the free throw comparison in the regular season, the Lakers, just stop. You get calls. Sometimes you don't get calls. It happens. I'm a Kings fan. I know all about refs not calling stuff. So, anyways, to digress to that, but they do need to change something up, and that just means, really, in my estimate, they need to do something offensively to get that person who they think who's going to give them the best chance to win open. Give them the open looks, get them going, get them in a rhythm early. Whether that be D'Angelo, whether that be Reeves, whether that be Hashimura, Prince, whoever you think is going to be that player that is going to put you, put you that one up.
Yeah.
Like, get him the look, set up plays for him, do that, and then obviously like lock down Jokic. Like, let someone else beat you.
Like, yeah,
Like,
I know, right?
if Jokic beats you, that's your own fault. Like, if you lock down Jokic and then Porter beats you, or Gordon beats you, or Murray beats you, well, obviously okay, but don't let Jokic be that guy. Like,
Yeah, get a 27 point, 20 rebound triple double with 10 assists, 2 steals, and only 3 turnovers.
yeah.
I mean, come
So,
on.
I mean, he's gonna get his. I understand
Yeah.
that he is a great player, but at the same time, like, do everything, double him, whatever. You know, you have to do something. Just don't let him beat you. Let someone else beat you. So, yeah, that's my opinion on that.
I-
So before we get into showing these lineups, make sure obviously you hit that like, subscribe button, notification bell. We are about to give two lineups for this slate. So if you are just joining us, welcome to DFS Insights. I know you're here for the lineups, but if you have any questions about why you think our lineups are crazy or for whatever reason, go ahead and hit the rewind button. Go back, take a look at our key players. Everything's time stamped below, and then it would kind of give you more of a our viewpoint, our strategy on why we think these lineups are optimal or at least viable. So with that, without further ado, going over here to our lineups, looks pretty different here. So yeah, it looks few different MVPs, same players. Yeah, you went with the combo, the Porter Gordon again. I like it. So lineup's pretty good. Both of them, like you said, we'll be entering them in. Like to see, any comments that you guys have. If you guys have any extra players that you want additional information in, please put it in the comments below. Like to get a little bit engagement. And with that, yeah, just make sure you're subscribed to our channel. We're covering as much of these playoff games as we can. We typically are going to be covering the 10K to first because obviously that's the most popular of the matches, and that usually falls on the Western conference teams as they're the evening games. So keep that in mind. We'll probably be covering basically every matchup going forward here. So with that, good luck. Hope to see you up there. And David, take us off here.
Yeah, man, good luck to everybody out there. Don't be surprised if the Lakers actually do pull off this win. I know they're favored by 1. If you think that the Lakers are going to get a win in this series, I think it's going to be this game. Don't be surprised if the refs actually are in their favor and they go to the line twice as much as Denver does. And again, please like, subscribe. If you guys got any questions, comments, thoughts, please leave them down below. We're here to talk sports, help you guys win some money. I've been consistent. I've been super consistent, especially with these West Coast teams. So if you guys want to know any other extra insights, give us a like, subscribe, drop us a comment, and we will definitely get back to you. So good luck to everyone out there, and we will see you on the next one.